So by now, you guys have probably seen the popular 18 down round by Paul Macbeth. And if you haven't seen it already, go check it out in the description. It's awesome. I think you should definitely check it out. He plays really, really well. But honestly, I feel like he didn't even have to try that hard. It was just so easy to get a birdie on most of these holes. And I myself love this course. This is actually my favorite course that they played in the tournament. And my personal best with par 3, everything par 3 I've shot -1. Now with Paul Macbeth, his score, I wrote it all out. He actually would have shot -9, which is like insane. I think a score of -18 is just something that, you almost never hear about, and you may never hear about it, especially on a course like this. This is the kind of course where, you need someone who's throwing like 600 feet, and I think they went too easy on the pros. I mean, everything is par 4. Hole 2 is par 5. It's 700 feet on the PDGA chart of how you rank the par for each hole. This clearly fits under par 4. And honestly, I think it should be a par 3, especially for people of this caliber. You can see that Paul Macbeth's rating, it's 1,044, which puts him at the top of the list, skill in disc golf. Now, I don't know who has the highest rating. It might actually be Paul Macbeth. I'm not exactly sure. But he's definitely up there, shooting 18 down with this course par. I think, the PDGA really has to look at some of these courses that they're having the pros play and move everything, almost everything, down to par 3. I think par 5 is really only suitable for a handful of holes, one of them being the monster hole, hole 13 long tee at Hudson Mills, which is over 1,000 feet, basically flat, a lot of rough. I can understand that being par 5. But for these people with nearly 1,000 rating or higher, I think there's got to be almost everything par 3. And I think there should only be 2 to 3 par 4s. And I think those par 4s on the toboggan course, for the pro scene, the top pro scene, I think the only par 4s on the course should be hole 2, hole 17, and the new hole 4, because there's a new pad, and I personally haven't played that. I don't know how hard that shot actually is to get. In the video, it seemed like he didn't have that much of a hard time, but I can see them putting that as a par 4 just because it's brand new this year, and people haven't been able to practice it like they could in the past. But really, there shouldn't be any almost no par 4s played on the course, even though it's such a hard course. These people, you have to remember, these people can throw 550 to 600 feet. I'm sure if you go look up any Paul Macbeth, video or whatever, he's throwing like a driver 5. I've seen him park 550 feet holes on a hyzer. You know what I mean? So it's not like that these people can't throw as far as these holes are. I mean, it would be crazy to see a 700-foot throw from some of these guys, but I mean, you can expect like 450 to 500 feet plus every time. Now, just look at this shot on hole 9. This shot is crazy hard. This is actually a really hard par 3, and if they put this at par 4, I wouldn't be that shocked. But he actually gets a deuce on this one, and he throws it right through a small gap. Now, this is a very far hole. It's uphill as well. So this is not easy. You can see that this guy has a lot of skill, and he's amazing at putting. He rarely misses a single putt. So I feel like the PDGA is just going way too easy on these guys, and that's why you're seeing these scores like 18 down. Now, he should have shot -9, and that would have still been like unheard of and untouchable. But instead, the course par is just so easy that he's able to shoot 18 down. Let's just look at hole 2. Why is this a par 5? I mean, I rated it as a par 4 myself because it's uphill and 700 feet. If you look on the PDGA chart, it doesn't line up at all. And it's very open. If you've ever played this course, you have a lot of room before you actually reach those trees. You can probably throw it about 350 to 400 feet, and you're still going to be in the fairway. So if you can get a shot to just land in the middle, you're going to be more than fine. You can throw another upshot and possibly get a 3 like Paul Macbeth did. I myself have gotten a 3 on this hole several times. Now, some of these times I was a little more lucky. I mean, sometimes the weather conditions aren't as nice as they are in this video, but it's not that hard to actually get a 3, and I can see it being a par 4 because if you do mess up going the rough, you're gonna have a really hard time getting out because the rough is pretty thick. I don't know about this year, but usually the rough is pretty thick at that course. So if you go in the rough, you're gonna have to have like a standout sidearm, and not everyone has that, and you might be stuck. You might end up taking an extra stroke at that point on the hole. So I can see it being a par 4, but par 5 I think is way too easy. And that's just one of the examples. I think hole 3, par 4, is way too easy. There's so many. I mean, not only are you throwing downhill Sure, it's 900 feet, sure. But you're throwing downhill like 400, 500 feet. I'm sure some of these guys can, throw 600, 700 feet on this one hole. Maybe it'll be a really hard 3, but it's completely open as long as you don't throw way off into the right. There used to be way more rough on the right, but now there's just none. You don't even really have to worry about it that much anymore. Back in the day, if you played this course, you threw it off to the right, you can consider the disc gone. I remember the first time I played this course, by hole 4, I only had one driver left. I lost one on hole 1 right away, first shot, and then hole 3, I lost one on the right. Now, I can see this course par being suitable for someone in like AM2, AM1, even AM3, but nowhere near. I don't think real pros should be playing this easy course par. I think they should be playing 54, or on this course maybe 56, 57. If you guys agree that the PDGA is taking these tournaments a little too lightly and they're not making it challenging for these pros, let me know in the comments below. Leave a like if you do agree, and if you disagree, leave a comment down below saying why you disagree, and leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.